Every grand idea, every huge universe starts with just a tiny spark. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the raw, unfiltered process of creative world building. We're going to track a single concept as it grows from a playful little daydream into this absolutely breathtaking vision for the future. Let's dive in. And it all starts right here, in this moment. You know that feeling, right? That little flash of inspiration where you just know you're onto something big. It's like you've just found a key and unlocked a door to a whole new world of possibilities. So where does a universe like this even begin? Well, not with a big bang, but with a flutter. We're starting at the very beginning, with the initial, almost kind of whimsical concepts that laid the entire foundation for this world. Okay, so the very first idea was for this thing called the All-American Universe Information Technology Scout, or AAUIT. And forget about massive starships for a minute. The initial thought was for a swarm of these glowing mechanical butterflies, acting like tiny silent spies out in the void of space. And the tech behind these little spies is just fascinating. I mean, we're talking about photonic crystal wings that can change color to blend in anywhere, completely silent quantum vacuum thrusters, and get this, a body made of liquid metal. It could literally expand or shrink to fit through a keyhole. It could even see Wi-Fi signals. This wasn't just some drone. It was a ghost in the machine. But as you can imagine, the idea didn't stay small for very long. It escalated, and it escalated quickly. From tiny butterfly drones to full-on spaceships. The stealth sail interceptor here was inspired directly by real-world tech, like the F-117 stealth fighter. But of course, with a sci-fi twist, a skin made of liquid solar panels, and a force field that would just vaporize space junk on contact. But just having some cool, stealthy ships, that wasn't going to be enough. The next step was to supercharge this hardware, taking inspiration from some of the most iconic sci-fi movies ever made. And this led to a brand new core concept, the Godzilla principle. The whole idea shifted. It perfectly engineered that it was, well, basically untouchable. So how do you make something Godzilla tier? Well, you combine it with the Terminator, of course. The ship's hull got a massive upgrade to a self-healing liquid metal, just like the T-1000. So now, if it took a hit, it wouldn't just be damaged, it would just flow back together. It became virtually indestructible. Then came another big breakthrough, inspired by the movies. Think about Guardians of the Galaxy. The entire fleet became remote piloted. I mean, why risk human lives in deep space? The pilots could be perfectly safe back in a control center, operating these indestructible drones from light years away. This move took human risk completely out of the equation and made the whole fleet just brutally efficient. Okay, but when you have this kind of godlike power, you have to ask yourself some pretty serious questions about responsibility. And this led to a huge philosophical turning point in the creator's journey. Moved away from a purely military mindset towards a deep sense of curiosity and respect for all life. The thinking became, hey, even an alien bug has a purpose. We shouldn't be destroyers. We should be explorers asking questions. And they actually coded this new philosophy directly into the fleet's protocol. So instead of shoot first, they developed this peaceful four-step handshake for any unknown ship they might run into. It starts with a quiet digital ping, then maybe a visual warning, then a verbal check, and only as a very last resort, it uses the ship's magnetic field for a gentle fleet was designed to be a guardian, ready to be a good neighbor, but if attacked first, its purpose would flip in an instant. It was fully prepared to become a warrior and unleash the total, crushing force of its Godzilla-level power. And this brings us to the fleet's ultimate pivot. Now that its role as a powerful guardian was established, the entire purpose of the technology evolved again, moving away from preparing for conflict and toward actively engaging in creation. An engineering challenge was set to take a dead, frozen planet like Mars and completely terraform it into a new Earth. And it turns out they already had all the tools they needed. So step 1, repurpose the fleet's massive solar arrays. By focusing sunlight like a giant magnifying glass, the mothership could act like a colossal heat lamp, melting the polar ice caps on Mars to release CO2 and kickstart a brand new atmosphere. Now, the problem with Mars is it lost its old atmosphere because it doesn't have a magnetic field. So for step 2, the fleet would deploy a whole constellation of satellites using its defensive force field technology. This would create a permanent artificial magnetic shield, protecting that fragile new atmosphere from getting blown away by solar winds. And the final step? The fleet basically becomes a genesis force. Using its liquid metal tech as a massive 3D printer, it would build biodomes to grow oxygen-producing plants. Then, once the atmosphere was thick enough, they just popped the domes, seeding the entire planet with the building blocks for breathable air. Incredible. But after this incredible journey of looking out to the stars, of designing apex predators and figuring out how to build new worlds, the creator had one final, really profound realization about where this mission should actually begin. And this single question, it changed everything. It brought the entire epic project. And just like that, all of this incredible sci-fi technology was repurposed to solve our most urgent, real-world problems. The fleet systems could be used to scrub carbon from the atmosphere, deploy those little butterfly drones to pull plastics out of the oceans, and use its solar relays to beam limitless clean energy straight to our power grid. And it all comes down to this: 4 simple but powerful words that to sum up the entire creative, intellectual, and emotional journey. The ultimate mission was never to conquer space. It was to save our home. This whole evolution, from a tiny spark to a planet-saving vision, it just goes to show you the true power of imagination. It proves that what starts as a simple daydream can become a detailed plan to change everything. So the real question is, what will your idea become?